For more on Hangzhou and its establishment as a high-tech hub, we are joined by current affairs commentator Einar Tangen in Beijing. Einar, the rest of China is looking at Hangzhou as a model of what to do right in a new innovation-driven economy. What would you say has been the biggest factor that has led to Hangzhou becoming a tech haven?
Karina, it's really been about balanced development. What you see here is not just tourism, but you have Alibaba, you have light industry, it's a logistics hub. It's a very important symbol as you go forward. You look at, it's also the end of the Grand Canal that stretches all the way to Beijing, over almost 1,200 miles. And it's an important symbol in the way that it has always bridged in the past the great divides between areas, because this is a very, very important factor historically. So it's a city that has been preparing for a long time to take a very important place on the international stage, and it's looking ready to shine.
Okay, and you mentioned Alibaba. Hangzhou is the birthplace of Alibaba. What role did that company, do you think, have in putting Hangzhou on the map, if at all?
Well, it's a question of which put which on the map. I mean, Alibaba would not be what it is today without Jack Ma, but Jack Ma was raised in Hangzhou, and it's a place where that offered the opportunity. Its strategic importance in the middle of the east coast of China is very, very important to the way that it's done logistics. Now, Alibaba is at its base a technologically driven logistics provider. They get you the things that you need. So the background and history of the area was very much a contributor to how Alibaba and Jack Ma started thinking and taking advantage of this next wave of internet revolution.
Now, hundreds of tech companies have set up shop in Hongzhou, in part because of its pro-business atmosphere. What freedoms are businesses allowed there that they don't have elsewhere in China?
Well, I don't know that it's necessarily just there. I mean, there are a number of economic development zones that encourage different businesses to set up things. I mean, in almost all areas of China, there are these EDZs, and they have special considerations, both for filing intellectual property, for lower taxes on new development. I think the real advantage of Hangzhou is the hype, the fact that you have a major player. It's the same way Apple and Google have created bases of technological development around the sheer size of what they're doing globally.
Right, so the infrastructure is there with VCs, et cetera. How open, though, is the city to foreign investment?
Oh, it's very open. I think people will be very surprised when they go there just how cosmopolitan it really is. It's a mixture of one of the most beautiful cities in China, urban cities in China, with its incredible West Lake. But then around it, you see this kind of more relaxed atmosphere. It's kind of a Silicon Valley in the sense that you have young people who are drawn to it, obviously in search of jobs and opportunities. And it creates a very, very unique environment. You have people crossing back and forth from all of the tech centers from around the world who are involved there. So you have a very, very international feel to it.
And you touched on Hangzhou's historical significance. Its economy was previously dependent upon manufacturing and exports. Has that foundation helped it make the transition to a services-driven economy?
Well, I think they were on the early edge of the manufacturing development within China, and they were very adaptable. This is an area that has always thrived on trade and opportunity, and this is really the trademark of the area. They start looking into the future, and they start figuring out what the next thing is going to be, and then rapidly taking advantage of it. You've seen massive transitions in the economy away from this to what I was referring to before, this balanced economy. You can't really say, even with Alibaba there's tremendous amounts of other industries that are providing the kind of vitality that you need. You don't want to be completely dependent on just one sector. For a healthy economy, you need to be very, very diverse.
And with the G20 hosting their meeting there, the world's lens will be on Hangzhou. What do you think an event like that will do for the city?
Well, it's really a staging ground. It's a nice run up to the 2022 Asian Games, which they will also be hosting there. But I think it's really a time for Hangzhou to shine as one of the Silicon Valleys of China, a place where innovation is happening. It's showing very clearly that China is not lagging behind in the technology race and that it's going to continue to be a factor. For the Chinese government, it's very important to showcase this area of innovation as it is promoting this idea that China is going to be an innovative place, that its tertiary development as it tries to get past this middle income trap is going to be fueled by areas like this.
Great stuff. Thank you so much. That was current affairs commentator Einar Tangen live for us in Beijing.